The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everyone, thank you for joining us for another Champions Way webinar. Today we have an awesome webinar on martial arts summer camps and everything you need to know about them, presented by Master Michael Mershad. He's been doing this for a long time, so you're definitely going to get some value out of this webinar. I'll let you take it away, Master Michael.
All right, thank you very much. I want to start off by just saying, thank you for Champions Way for putting this type of material together, because I know for me, when I get to listen to something, even if I already think I know it, or if I already have a really good system down, even just taking away one or two good ideas can really help out a lot. So I've really gained a lot of value from listening to these, and I hope I can do the same for you guys today. So again, my name is Michael Mershad. I'm up here in beautiful Springboro, Ohio. And our academy has been open for about 15 years. This will be our 14th or 15th year of summer camps that we've done. And, really we've just learned a lot along the way. And we've always had these as big memories. These summer camps are huge memories, even for me. When we first opened, our oldest daughter was 1. Now, 15 years later, of course, I've got my youngest daughter now who's 3. So now she gets to go right back into that cycle of starting these memories. And kind of what I want to launch off with is that I'm always about making everything, as much of an experience as possible. You want to make it something they're going to remember, something that, they have a huge that mental value in. You can't put a price on memories, right? And so the things we used to do when we first started doing these camps is we did them, and they were awesome. They were intricate. There was a lot going on. There was a lot involved in it, but it was absolutely exhausting. And so by the end of the week, of course, when I was doing them then, it was doing the summer camp. We actually had early drop-off starting at 7:30, and then we did the camp up until 4 o'clock. Our first class started at 4 o'clock, and then our classes back then were over at 9:30 at night. And, of course, back then it was just myself doing a lot of that, my wife also doing a lot of that with me, and a couple helpers, and it was absolutely ridiculous. Now, some of you are in an area where that early drop-off works. We realized in our area that it really wasn't a value for us to offer an early drop-off. So, it was exhausting. We didn't give ourselves any time between camp and classes, and then, of course, our classes went late in the evening. So we used to really theme it out. We had some really big themes that we went with. One I'll probably talk about a little bit later is Survivor Camp. When Survivor Show first was really getting popular, and we did Survivor Martial Arts Camp, and we put everybody on tribes, and we gave them all colored armbands that they had to wear and keep on, and they got to earn points. And we did these games that were really extravagant, and it took a lot. And but there was a lot of things, like I said, that we learned along the way. So first thing I'm going to do on this first slide is I'm just going to cover the top 10 things that I wish I knew back when we first started our camp. Of course, back then I didn't have the staff that I have now, so you can keep that in mind, I guess. But here we go. So number one is that you cannot wing it. Of course, I didn't really wing it, but you can't wing it. But one thing I wish I'd known is that 8 hours worth of material that you think is going to last 8 hours actually only goes for about 3 hours. So make sure you have extra games in there that you're okay cutting, but that way you're filling that time, okay? Even an extra workout that you're okay cutting to fill that time, because what you think is going to take 8 hours probably is going to only take about 3. Maybe not, maybe 4. So overplan a little bit. Number two, I learned that you have to give these guys a break after lunch. Run them in the morning. Give them a break after lunch, though. We actually sit down and watch a Netflix show, a martial arts show. We don't watch a full movie, but we do watch a show, and gives them an opportunity to sit down and chill out. We mandate that they have to sit still. You got to sit and watch and chill out, and then, of course, we jump up and do workouts after that. Number three is you should plan a vacation for the week or at least the weekend following. And I learned this the hard way. We actually had one of our hardest weeks. We had 2 weeks in a row of summer camps. And after week 2, my wife just looked at me and said, listen, we're getting out of here as soon as camp is over on Friday, and we're going somewhere. All right. We're good? Whoops. There we go. Okay. All right, so you with me here? Cool. All right, so, yeah, we're still on this first slide. We're good. So, that first week, second week, 2 weeks camp in a row, it was like, we just got to get out of here. So we actually went on a vacation that we didn't really plan, but we had to get out of there. So plan for vacation, plan for a break. Number 4 is that you can trust staff to run things. You can let them run games. You can let them do that. And a lot of times, depending how old you are, how old they are, how long you've been doing this, they may actually do a better job. Now, if you've been in business for 2 years or less and you're in your 20s, you run the games because you're going to be fired up and doing it. But if you've been doing this for a long time, or you had younger guys that are in that age range that you think will do a really good job, allow them the leadership position to do that. We've got 4th degree black belts in our academy, and a lot of times my wife will look at me and say, why do you think you need to be at this event? When we have a 4th degree adult male who can run these events, you were doing way more than that when you were a 3rd degree or 2nd degree or whatever. And so just, value other people as much as you value yourself, even though they won't think of it as their business, but it's okay. All right, the next thing that I wish I knew before my first year of camp is that I didn't have to be here all day. Again, I can trust my staff to be here, even if I just tell them that they're going to come, I'm going to be here the first half of the day, get them going. After lunch, go take a break. That's when I typically, last year I did half days at camp. This year I'm not even doing camp. I'm having my staff run it. But last year, after lunch, I went and I did my workout. So I went to the gym, I went on a run, and it was just a really nice break for me because I came back and I did teach classes that night. The next one is that you can't leave it up to the kids to tell their parents what they did that day. So we're going to go through that in one of the slides here. You cannot leave it up to an 8-year-old who you've been running all day. When they get them to call his mom, and mom says, what'd you do today? They're going to be brain dead, okay? And so we have a system for that. So that, again, we're just building value. Let's see, number 7 is that training camps are way more valuable to parents than daycare camps. We got stuck being a regular camp because we thought, well, they're doing Taekwondo at night. They want to have fun during the day. And we had just a different mindset about it because we thought that we had to make it fun, versus making it a value of having a martial arts camp. And we learned that, man, training camps, first of all, I think they're more fun, but it's way more enjoyable and way more of a value to the parents. Number 8 is that weapons camps are way fun and they're way easier to market. You hang those weapons up, we'll go through that again, and again, that sells itself when I see those bow staffs hanging up. All right, number 9 is that you don't need to overdo it. I'm going to go through this with field trips in a little bit, but you don't need to overdo it. Now, if you have a really cool aquarium nearby and they've got a really cool deal for summer camps and it's just going to be an easy thing to do and that adds value, do that. And don't forget to take cool pictures of martial arts while you're there, but you don't have to overdo it. A lot of people don't want to charge more than they absolutely have to, and so I'm going to go through that with a couple ideas for some really cool field trips here in just a little bit. Number 10 is that the first few camps you have, they may be small, and you may have to be okay with that, all right? And the reason is because there's not a lot of people talking it up yet. If you've never done a summer camp, you might have just a giant summer camp. You might have a really small summer camp, okay? But be okay with it and rock it, okay? Just go and have an awesome time. All right. Now, so that's the things I wish I knew. Okay. The next thing that we're going to go through is marketing your camps. And some of this, obviously, is just easy stuff you should all do and know this already, but I'm just going to give you a couple good ideas here. So set your dates early. Early is different for everybody. In your area, if parents are signing their kids up for summer camps, then, in January, then you should have your dates set in December. So whenever they're signing their kids up, and ask them. That's the easiest way to do it. Just ask your parents, hey, when do you typically sign your kids up for summer camp? What month are you looking for summer camp sign-ups? For us, our schools don't get out yet. We have like 2 more weeks, I think, in schools. So our parents are actually looking for summer camps in March, and we just found that out. So by March, we're marketing our summer camps. The other thing you want to do with that is pick a community service project that early also. Connect with them, let them know you're going to do a camp. What do they need? 2 things that we've done before. We did soup kitchens where we collected canned goods, and we collected box items and things like that for soup kitchen. That was really awesome. And then the other ones we're doing now are back-to-school supplies for kids that can't afford those. And so that's something big we're pushing now. And when we do our camps, I guess I'll go into this even though it's later, we actually split them up on day 1 into teams. And those teams they come together with and they do games with, and then sometimes we'll split them into different groups for different games, based on age. But their team throughout the week earns points. And on our mirrors, on our Taekwondo school, we use dry erase marker. We keep track of the points through the whole week. And so they actually earn points for bringing in different things. Like when we did school supplies, maybe a backpack is worth 50 points, and maybe a ruler is worth 10 points. However you want to, do that. But it's really cool. The kids get behind it, and then at the end of the week, you've got this big, huge, stack of stuff you're giving to kids that can't afford back-to-school items, and make those parents, feel like they're just being taken care of. And so that's just a really cool thing for the kids to take part in also, and show them that it's bigger than just themselves, what you're teaching them. Okay, so set your dates early. We do 2 weeks of summer camp every year. I've done 1. I've done 3. I've got friends that do all summer long, and there's not a bad idea. It's just what works in your area. And again, in Springboro, Ohio, we just find that two camps a year works perfectly. Okay, again, just set that in your own. If you've never done camps, by the way, I would not necessarily recommend doing the entire summer all at first. Maybe pick 3 or 4 or 5 weeks, but I would definitely recommend not doing the entire summer if you've never run a summer camp. All right, put up posters. You can see our poster there. I think that poster cost about $250. So we did put money into it. Obviously, that's one hole and a little bit of another person's summer camp registration right there in that one poster. But it's 2 camps, and as long as we get one person from each camp who wouldn't have signed up before, then we're good. So we made up for that. Let's see here. The next thing is print simple flyers. The flyers don't have to be, have crazy stuff all over them, and they don't have to say every single thing that you're going to do in your summer camp. All that it has to say is the dates, what your focus is, have a really cool kick on it maybe, and then a call to action. Sign up by this date, or sign up at the front counter today, or something simple. It doesn't have to have every single thing you're going to work on, because your kids, the students, are the ones that are going to want to sign up, and the kids aren't going to read it and say, oh, dodgeball, we're going to go to summer camp. So again, I'm going to go through in just a second how we can get the kids motivated to come to your camp. All right, display your weapons. You don't have to do a weapons camp, of course. We just do now. We select a weapon, we go through those. We have now gone to the hyper camps just because I like the curriculum and I like the way they lay things out. It makes it really simple to do. But even before we did that, we still did weapons camps. We did a bow staff camp. We've done single nunchuck camps. And so the weapons, hanging those up on the pro shop really makes it nice. I mean, it makes your pro shop look professional. It makes your school look like it's on the cutting edge and that sort of thing. And it looks like you have a full stock. Hanging up one bow staff probably won't be enough, or one set of nunchucks. But you set up 30 sets of nunchucks up there. That's going to take people's attention. That's definitely going to catch their eye. Let's see. So display the weapons. Now, if you're not doing a weapons camp, we did, like I said, Survivor Camp. Okay, now back then we didn't have the means to do so, but maybe if we're doing Survivor Camp this year, we set up like a really cool display area with a tiki torch, and different things like that. That would make people say, well, that was awesome. Okay, I heard of one school, I don't know who it was, so I'm sorry if I can't give you exact credit if it was you, but they did martial arts in the movies. Okay, so like a movie theme, and they said that they put a red carpet in the lobby, and that led right up to the display that showed the summer camp. I thought that was a really cool idea, and I may use that next year for one of our camps. So again, just theme it out and kind of get into it. All right, if you get into it, your students and your parents will get into it also. Post an email. Okay, just make sure it's in your emails months in advance. Again, whenever your people are planning this, you want to put that in there. If you want to do a Facebook or whatever event, set it up and invite people to come to it. That's fine. But again, just continually just have it in front of people so they know that it's available. They know that it's going to be an option for them. Cool. Again, if you have any questions, drop it in the question bar, and that way I can kind of go through it. If I miss something on a slide, definitely hit me up with that. All right. 3 to 4 weeks out. 3 to 4 weeks out, we want to make sure that we, again, we know what community event we are. We know when our dates are. We're all set, okay? Now, as you get closer to the camp, you want to do different games or challenges, something that you don't typically do in your Taekwondo or martial arts classes. So if you don't typically do dodgeball, for example, let's just say you don't do dodgeball ever, okay? You decide, okay, I'm going to play dodgeball, and that's going to be one of our camp games. And then you let the students know after they've had a blast doing the game. They line up on their spots, standing in a sharp stance, and you say, hey, guys, if you like that game, that's one of the ones we're going to be doing at summer camp next month, okay? That just blows out of the water. That way the kid leaves at the end of that class. What do they say to mom as soon as they run up there? Okay, that's a good time to even hand out your flyer to the kids. Say, here you go. We're going to be doing that, sidekick, drill that we just did. It has to be something that they all just had an absolute blast doing. So they just had a blast, and then you just kind of really capitalize on it by saying, hey, that's one of the drills we're going to be doing. And if you get to the end of your class and you didn't even think about it, but you just had an awesome game that they just did and they're in that zone, still use that, write it down, and don't forget to do it at your summer camp. The other thing you can do weeks leading up to the camp is bust out the weapons. And just, if you're doing a weapons camp or if you're going to learn a form or something really cool, do it as a demo every day during class, okay, or just a little bit every day during class, or pick 2 days of the week, and kind of hit those up and show them what they're going to be learning. It wouldn't even hurt, really, to bring out some sample weapons as a station, if you do station drill like we do, and just have let's say you're going to do bow staff camp. You have bow staffs on there, and they learn 2 moves, and that's all they learn is 2 moves. And they're really excited about it because that's what we're going to do at summer camp. You're going to learn how to do a form with that weapon. And, again, they're just going to see value in that, and the parent is going to see value in it as long as it looks like they're learning and they're not just playing around. Okay, so that is 3 or 4 weeks leading out. 2 weeks out, you want to set your camp staff, okay? You want to make sure you are solidified, they know their hours, they know exactly what's expected of them as far as, showing up, what time, all that kind of fun stuff there. You want to make sure you are solidified with your staff. Let's see here. I don't know why that other photo didn't show up here. That's all right. So you want to make sure your T-shirts are ordered. You want to, get T-shirts. We do the Hyper one, so we order the Hyper shirts. But whatever shirts you get, you want them to be a shirt that the students will wear outside of your studio. So not ones that they're just going to wear, oops, where are we at here? 2 weeks out, here we go. That might be why. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I'm going to go back here. So camp staff, there we go. T-shirts are ordered. And again, you want to make those shirts look pretty cool. I'll go through that in the next slide here, apparently. Then from there, you want to send out a mass amount of emails, okay, to everybody. Let them know, former students, everybody, hey, we got this many spots left. Always have an exact number of spots you can tell them, because if you say, yeah, we still have space, they may wait till the last minute and something else might come up. If you say we have 10 spots, you might want to get your name on the list, then you can do that, but don't end up with only 10 students at your camp. So if I just said we have 40 spots, we have a bow staff camp, I said we're only going to take 40 students. Right now, we have it in 3 weeks. Right now, I think we have 25 signed up. So I'm honestly saying we only have 15 spots signed up. So if you want to make sure you get a spot, make sure you put your name on the list. Okay, we only do a $20 deposit, so it's not going to kill anybody if we don't. All right. We also use one call, or actually we use call them all. And we typically would probably do this at 2 weeks out. Hey, remember, we've got summer camp coming up. And only do it to the students that you know would benefit from the camp. Okay, so if you have like preschoolers, don't send the email to them. They're not going to benefit from this camp. Well, unless you're doing like a Little Leader, we call Little Leader, Little Dragons summer camp. If you're doing one of those specifically, God bless you, have fun. So that is that. 2 weeks out, make sure your weapons are ordered. You may have another order you have to make later on that next week, but at least you have the extra, all of them that you need. Make sure you display them really nice if you haven't already done so 2 weeks out. Again, getting your guys really excited. Okay, here we go, 1 week out. So at the 1 week mark, we want to make send an email directly to the campers, the ones that are definitely coming to the camp. And as people sign up for your camp, you want to send them this email, okay? Really important that you do this because there's a couple of things of information that you want to make sure you get from them. Number one, you want to let them know what they're expected to bring. We don't provide lunch because we found that when we did provide lunch, half the kids didn't eat what we provided anyways, and so we let them provide lunch. We provide a snack, but we tell them that, okay? We tell them what to wear. We tell them what to bring. We do spar on some of the days. We tell them to bring their sparring gear on what days. So that's all in that email, and it's not so much info that's too much for them to take in. It's just enough that they can read it and say, okay, I feel like I've got a good grasp on the summer camp. So make sure in that you also say 2 really important things. Number one, ask if they have allergies and what they need for those allergies on site, okay? Especially if you as the owner is not the one in charge of the camp. If you have a staff in charge, this is really key because you don't want to leave your school with, a 20-something-year-old, and not give them the proper tools to really succeed at the camp, okay? And definitely from a health standpoint, if you have an EpiPen, if you make sure that mom brings the EpiPen every day, you make sure of that, probably won't need it. But what are the chances if you don't make sure she has it every day? Again, I find that in our Taekwondo school, if we have a full stock of Band-Aids, we rarely ever have cuts in class. But the second we run out of Band-Aids, we tend to have tons of injuries, okay? So better prepare and not need it, all right? So that's really important for your email that you send out the week of or the week prior to the summer camp. And make sure you get responses. I would even follow up just to make sure with another email at the end of the week, hey, if you do have any allergies, you haven't let us know, please let us know. Let's see here. All right, so that's good. The other thing is let them know that you will be taking pictures throughout the camp, and you'll be posting them on your Facebook account. And if there's any problem with that, please let us know. I swear we have a family in our Taekwondo school that is in the mafia because they had told us, please do not put our kids in the pictures, and please do not post them, and please do not tag us, and all this stuff. And all I could think about is, witness protection. Anyways, I get sidetracked easy, sorry. So get permission. If you get permission, then chances of them having an issue, is 0. Let's see here. Then from there, you want to make sure you leak a picture of your T-shirts. If you have a good T-shirt company who does your designs for you, ask them, hey, will you do me a huge favor and make sure I have a visual layout so I can show them and get them really excited about the shirts. And a lot of times, if you're working with a good company, they'll go ahead and do that for you. And that way, again, you can sneak it out. And this is a good way to get last-minute sign-ups, too, on your camp if you still have space left in there. All right, staff meeting. You want to meet with the guys that are running your staff or running your camp. You want to make sure that you are really positive. If you're not the one running it, that you really set the mood. You really make sure that it's going to be a really positive event, and you remind them of several things that we're going to go through on the next slide. Okay, that is on the next slide here for day 1. But one of the things that you want to have down pat is your check-in and check-out process. Your check-in and check-out process is the key to the parent feeling comfortable leaving and the parent feeling really excited that they chose this activity for their kid at the end of the day. So parents are coming in. What do? They go to the front counter, or do they go out to the floor? Where do the kids go? Where do they put their stuff? All of that has to be pre-thought out, okay? And if you don't pre-think it out, then they're going to put their shoes where they think they should put their shoes. They're going to put their lunch where they think they should put their lunch. They're going to do what they think they should do. So we always have a greeter. We always have someone checking in. We always have 2 people on the training floor. So at least 4 people in check-in. So the greeter says, hey, welcome to the camp. You guys can put your shoes there, your lunch there. Mom or dad, you can go ahead and check them in at the front counter, okay? They go to the front counter. And then, again, we have everything standardized. We do not take payments for camp until the day of camp. We take a $20 deposit. We don't take, at our academy, we do not take any other financial anything, not even grandma wants to pay. Then grandma can call her credit card number in on Monday of camp. The reason is for 2 reasons. Number 1, standardization, and that way everything is the same. Nobody gets messed over. Nobody gets double charged. Nobody gets, frustrated because you've already charged them, and you should already know that. And, so it just really streamlines communication if you have just a one way you're going to do it. The second thing that it does for me, especially if I'm the one running the camp, is I get to see all of that money coming in on Monday versus, if I started taking payments in March for full payments, that money is gone. I mean, I don't know about your academy, but, that money already went into the budget. That money is no longer sitting there in my account. And so really it's demotivating to me. Now, if you're in a smaller school and you have to, take half of it down so you can afford to pay for the weapons and the T-shirts, hey, that makes total sense. But only take up front what you absolutely have to. And, what if they back out of the camp? Well, what if they back out of the camp? It's not going to make a difference if they paid you in full. You're probably going to give them a refund anyways, right? So just think about that. You're going to want to have just a process, but be standardized with the process across the board because that will make your life and your staff's life way easier. All right, checkout process. The checkout process has to be just as streamlined. Okay, you're going to have parents showing up 30 minutes early. Typically, this is when we do our snack time. 30 minutes early before the camp ends, we sit them down, we do snack time. We even play like heads up 7-up with them. We have them go get their shoes on, and it looks very controlled when the parents come in. It looks very orderly. By then, the kids are exhausted, by the way, so they're half awake as it is. So it's cool. They don't care. But again, it looks good as opposed to them coming in when they're playing a wild game, grabbing Johnny from the game, to leave early, and he's all upset and he's angry. He's giving his mom a hard time, and mom is thinking, well, yeah, I want him to like the camp, but I want him to respect me, okay? And so, we just have this down pat a little bit better than we used to. So really check that checkout process, look at what you're going to do, and have it streamlined. All right. The last thing is practice material. Let's say you're teaching a bow staff form Monday, and it's Friday, and you haven't started working on it yet. It just won't look very good. So you want to have this form down pat. Anyone you're going to have teach it, give them access to it, and let them work on it also. really, again, it just streamlines things. It makes everybody look good. When everyone knows the material, everybody looks good, and that's the goal. For me, for my staff, I never want my staff to look dumb. I always want my staff to look smart. If I can, I make my staff look smarter than me, and a lot of times that's a very simple thing to do. Okay, day one, again, I covered the check-in process, so you execute the check-in process. Before that, they'll have an early team meeting. I would not make you guys come in super, super early any other day than day one, but have a check-in on day one, team meeting on day one, and hand them the sheet to the right there. So you can see it says on there, welcome, welcome to camp. Remember, this is a fun camp. We want to keep order, but remind them that this isn't like a class, and I'll cover that at the end. So it's typically in your classes, it's really very serious, very strong, very, I don't want to use this phrase old school, but you know what I mean. You're very traditional, very, very traditional. If you run your summer camp like that, you're going to burn people out with 5 straight days of that from, whatever time in the morning to whatever time in the afternoon. You're going to burn them out instead of pumping them up. So this is not a class. Yes, I want to keep order. Yes, they call me Mr. Murshad. Yes, they say sir, and they run. But I want to make sure that it's a different feeling. It's a really cool feeling. They feel like they're accepted. They feel like this is where they belong. That's the goal for us to make them feel like that. Okay. Let's see here. So from there, we have our behavioral things there that we go through. I don't want anyone to be the bad guy. But if someone's going to be the bad guy, I'd rather it be me. So whoever your camp leader is, the main guy in charge or girl in charge, let them be the bad guy. Okay. So here's what you do. Verbally remind the camper of proper behavior. Don't tell them what they did wrong. Tell them what you expect of them, okay? And this goes to teaching also, doesn't it? So, let's say they're poking each other, all right? Instead of saying, stop poking him, you say, hey, make sure, guys, you keep your hands to your, and they'll fill in the blank, you keep your hands to yourself. And that way they know what they're supposed to do. Then from there, you let the camp leader know what the trouble is that you were having, okay? And then if you're the camp leader, you go over and you say, hey, Mr. So-and-so said that you were, you don't keep your hands to yourself. Why is it important to keep your hands to yourself? And let them tell you why it's important, okay? The next time that somebody has an issue, send them straight to the team leader, and the camp leader can go ahead and decide what to do from there, okay? Typically, I'll put them in, have them sit out for a game or two. If it's really bad, like hitting or fighting, I call the parent right away. Depending on the scale of it, I'll have them come get them. Because, again, you don't need to keep a kid at your camp. One year, I'll tell this quick story, even though I shouldn't. But anyways, we had a kid in camp. His name was Josh, and Josh had impulse control issues. For example, he had a scab on his knee, and he said it felt good when he ripped the scab off. So every day, twice a day, he would rip the scab off, and then he would rub the blood on his knee. Now, the first time he did that, I probably should have called mom and dad, but we needed the money more than we needed our sanity. So I didn't worry about it. But here's the deal: had I let him go, had I called his mom and said, hey, he's a little out of control right now. He continues to do this. Our camp the rest of the week would have been way easier. We ended up having him. We went to the park one day, ended up having him run away, and I had to chase him down. Okay, which he had a little bit of a head start, but I still caught him. Don't worry. But again, these things can be usually sorted out on day one in a positive way. Of hey, we want him to have a positive experience, but this is happening, and so if this happens again tomorrow, we're going to need him to not come back to camp. So, again, you have to use your discretion on that. We don't want any kid to feel bad, but in this situation, I really should have put my foot down. So have that team meeting. Let them know what's expected behaviorally of them also. They're not here to play. Your counselors are here to work. All right, they're here to provide an awesome experience. So set the mood. Make sure as far as your counselors go that they're not just counselors. They're like cheerleaders. They're out there pumping the kids up, giving high fives. They're not there to correct everything, okay? They're there to make it a good experience. All right, cool. Let's see here. Remember that this is your job. This is part of our job. So this isn't something extra that you're doing. This is a part of your job. And part of my job anyways is to create a community where I have high-level martial arts skills and high-level leadership. Okay, that's what we teach. Okay, we want to create community. We want to create high-level athletes. We want to create leaders. That's it. So my summer camp is no exception. I've got to still do those things. Sorry, I had to take a swig of my coffee there. All right, let's see here. From there, you can see my schedule all laid out. I give it to all my guys because every single one of them needs to know exactly what we're doing and exactly what's going to be expected of them. So if they see the performance kick of the day is a tornado kick, they better know how to do a tornado kick, and they've got time because we had an early meeting. The fun warm-up, You know, sometimes I leave that up to them. Sometimes I pick what it is, but, you know, whatever. But the YouTube playlist is really cool. If you haven't done this before, let's say you're doing a bow staff camp, then have some bow staff videos, some really high-level tournament bow staff things on a playlist and play that, either in your lobby, or let the kids watch it, or if you have a projector on your floor, and kind of let them watch that a little bit. All right, so that's a really cool way to do it. Then from there, all of our days are laid out very similar to this, but every day is a little bit different. All right, so I'm going to go through this. If you can't see it, I'll read each one out. So we start off, check-in is all set, 9 o'clock, 9:15. We do YouTube playlist and showtime. So they sit down, they watch for a little while. We line them up, smallest to tallest, 9:30, and we do a fun warm-up. And by fun warm-up, I mean like maybe you know, run down the floor, run back, run backwards down the floor, run back, animal crawls down the floor. Then we get targets down. They jump over the targets and as they go. Then they do rolls. So, I mean, it's like a 15-minute long exercise fest, but to them, they think it's kind of cool, all right? Then after the fun warm-up, performance kick of the day. It can be whatever kick you want to do based on the kids that showed up at camp. So maybe it's a jump front kick, maybe it's a jump split kick, whatever it is. It takes about 30 minutes to really break it down to its parts and teach them each of the parts, and then put it together at the end, and they're going to think, whoa, that was really cool, okay? Like, let's say it's a jump front kick. So you're going to work, you know, frog jumps. Then you're going to work frog knee-ups. Then you're going to work front kicks on the bags. Let them kill those bags with front kicks. All right, and so just slowly start working on building up to the actual technique. And again, if you need help with that, I'm sure somebody can help you. From there, you know, dodgeball. My guys love dodgeball. I do not know why my kids love getting hit in the head with the dodgeball so much, but they love it. There's several different varieties they play, but it teaches them focus. It teaches them awareness. They're not allowed to yell and scream like little kids. This is part of their training. 10:30, martial arts forward roll. So we're going to teach them, you know, forward roll. Again, we break it down, we work on it, and then typically what we'll do is at the end, we'll do the forward roll into the performance kick, whatever it was. So it's tying skills together, because at the end of the week, we're going to go through a performance for the parents, which I'll go through here in a second. From there, team challenge, scrapyard. If you've never played scrapyard before, it is hilarious. What you do is you take as much equipment as you can, spread it out in the front of the room, put them into relay lines. Okay, so let's say they're in 5 lines. And when they run to the front, instead of run up, run back, they run up, they grab a piece of equipment, they run back, and they stack it in the back. So you keep going, they keep on running and grabbing stuff until everything is gone in the front, completely clean, and then you give them 2 minutes to use all the equipment they did and build a tower. And it is absolutely hilarious, but they're not allowed to talk. They have to show teamwork. They have to work together. They're not allowed to be mean to each other. They have to show teamwork, and then we take a picture of them, and, you know, then they clean up. So scrapyard is really funny, and it teaches them some teamwork. It makes them run. They're exhausted when that game's over. Games like Infection, Battle Ball, Samurai Sword, again, whatever games that you like to play at your camps. Let's see here. Then we do lunch and movie. So typically we take about an hour. We'll throw on like a chicken in it or something while they're eating. They go out there and watch it on the Taekwondo floor. We have a projector. From there they are, you know, they're a little bit tired from, you know, sitting down that long. So we get up and we do our weapons portion. They are remotivated when you bust out those weapons. Okay, so day 1 we hand them out. We write their names on them, all that kind of fun stuff. From there we do the workout. Okay, this, you know, for this camp obviously we did Chuck's workout. From there, workout number 3, and this is a station training where you set up 10 stations, and they go to each station, and they do whatever's there. You set the timer, you shift them. Leadership lessons. Sorry, I'm kind of going fast here. Leadership lessons. We have, at our school, 5 tenets, and so each day we hit one of the tenets. So day 1 is leadership. Day 2 is strength, and we do a little lesson. Okay, it says 15 minutes. I don't ever do 15 minutes. You'll kill them if you do that. But, for example, if you go on YouTube and you type in Mershad, which is my last name, Mershad Summer Camp, then you'll see some videos of some of the stuff we've done. But one of them was for strength, and we talked about how if you, you know, if you are a strong person, you can't let things shake you up. And I had a Diet Coke in my hand, and I said, every time you get angry and you don't work it out, you're going to get shaken up. And I shook it. I did like 3 times, and I said, and for a while, what happened? And I opened it, exploded everywhere. Kids thought it was hilarious, but it was a powerful thing because I can see what happens when you get shaken up. You explode. Okay, you don't explode until you've gotten shaken up enough. So we kind of worked that into that leadership talk. We didn't just sit down and lecture them. All right, then we do relay challenge, and that's to wear them out before we do their snack time at 3:05, pick up, and again, the camp day is over at 3:30. Whew, that was a lot. All right, hopefully you got a couple of notes off of that one. Make sure you take pictures and videos and post them. You know, I didn't see the power in this until Roland Osborne was just showing how this stuff works for their camps, and man, it really is. When you take a picture of a cool move that your kid is doing, you tag mom and dad in it, that thing gets spread all over the place. You'll be surprised that kid's picture will be with grandparents and everything else because of the power of that tag. So don't forget to tag parents. If you do like any kind of game, when somebody wins it, take a picture, okay? Anything really cool that you can get, take a picture. It takes a little bit of time, but it makes a huge difference. And all your parents of the kids that didn't go to camp, they're also seeing the smiles on those kids' faces, and they're going to want their kid a part of the next camp. That's a huge way to pump up numbers for your next camp, whether it be next year or next month. All right, feedback. Earlier I said one of the things you can't do is leave it up to the kids to tell the parent what they did. So this is a feedback form. My favorite activity today was blank, jump spin 360 crescent kicks. Love my kid's name. At the bottom, it has their notes. We have a community project. Make sure you bring this in. Kids are getting points. Remember that the finale presentation is on Friday at 3 o'clock. All right. Field trips. So I've got about 5 more minutes here, so don't worry. I'm going to kind of wrap it all up here. 5 minutes. So field trips, you want to keep it simple. If you're in a shopping center, go to one of the businesses in your shopping center. We go to a Marco's Pizza here, and they actually let the kids make a pizza. We bring it back, and the kids get to eat the pizzas, and it is just awesome. They don't charge us anything for it. They think it's cool that we're bringing kids in to market it, and so look at that. Okay, if you have a frame shop, do something cool with them, where the kids get to make a cool piece of art, take it over there, and the frame place will show them how they frame it. If you work with your people in your shopping center or around you, then they're going to want to refer people to you. So it really goes back and forth. So think about that. I'll bet you're already thinking of one place you can go address today and say, hey, can we do a shop? Can we go there and do that? Okay. All right. So then from there, again, that's a simple one. Training at the park is also fun. Take some dodgeballs, also play some games at the park, that sort of thing as well. We have a park within walking distance here. We have to be super cautious, of course, as we walk them to the park, that they can do that we can get there safely. We do head counts on the way before we go. We do head counts as soon as we get there. We do head count before we leave, and we do head count when we get back. All right, so that is huge. I've got a friend of mine, and he did not do this, and he had a really hard time because he did not do a count. He left the kid in the bathroom, and so we just want to make sure we're super cautious. Why am I super cautious? Because he did that, okay? Had I not ever thought about it, I may not be as cautious, but, you don't want to be that guy or that girl that left a kid in the bathroom at the park. Okay, let's see here. What else we got? Let's see. As far as field trips go, you don't have to do something really exotic, like I said before, but you could even bring somebody in for a field trip. So a field trip can turn into bringing in a magician, okay, or bringing in a someone to do a show for the kids, or to bring animals that the kids could see. You could even set something like that up, depending on where you are. Think about that. Instead of, if you're in a standalone building and there's no businesses near you, it doesn't make sense to walk to the park if it's 1.5 miles away. So again, just think about that and kind of go from there. All right, cool. Kicking it on here. Let's see. Oh, one more thing on the feedback form really quickly is the reason we did this is because we had a kid that the mom came in absolutely angry on day 3, and she said that Robbie came home and all he says is that you do nothing but watch movies. And since we only watch a 30-minute movie, I knew this was fake. I knew this was incorrect. So we were really careful. We started doing this. So what's your favorite thing? And we wrote it down. And things we don't let them write are like movie time. Okay, we let them write down, not snack time. Their favorite game, favorite activity. All right, cool. Yep, I'll get to those. Cool. All right, so let's come back over here. Last day parent demo. During the day, perfect the forms, the tricks, the weapons. Select kids for different parts of the demo. Make sure you include everyone. But if the kid doesn't have the bow staff form, putting him out there will be bad for him. Okay, so find something he can do, or give him an easier form to learn, and then go from there. That way you can make him a superstar. He's having a lot of fun with it, and kind of go from there. Okay, so have that demo. The demo shouldn't last more than like 7 minutes tops, maybe, depending on how many kids you have in your camp. Let's say welcome parents and talk about what they learned, okay? So Monday we learned about leadership, blah, blah, blah. Tuesday we learned about strength, blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is, let the parents know that they worked on stuff, because the kid will be like, oh, yeah, we talked about that. Let's see here. Let's see. All right, there we go. Promote the next camp. You want to make sure you promote the next camp, and there's a couple ways that you can do that, which I'm going to go through here. Promote your next camp. So every day of the camp, have a cool drill. So one of the cool games that you did during that day of camp on Monday, Monday night in all your classes, make sure you do that game. So for me, I'm not doing my summer camp this year, so I'm going to have to ask my staff, okay, what's the game you guys are going to do Monday? And that way, when I teach Monday, I can teach that game and say, that's the game we learned, that's the game we did today at summer camp, and it was just awesome. And then, inevitably, when's the next camp? It's in June. It's in July. Make sure you get signed up. Last day show, maybe you'll come out and do both stats this time. Maybe next time at the end of the demo, you come out and you perform a double chucks form, just something really cool, something really quick. Again, to promote your next camp, you want to tag parents, post a lot on that kind of stuff, because that does a huge job to promote for the next camp. But that game of the day, don't forget to do that. I'm doing that at my first camp. Make sure that my July camp is even bigger than the first one. Keys, remember, not class, but they can still learn. They could be at the YMCA for less than what you're charging. I'm going to go through what I charge here in just a second. They could go to the YMCA. You're more valuable, and they look up to you. That's why they're coming to you. Let older students be leaders. So if you're going to play a game of something that a younger guy can run, if there's a 12-year-old there or 11-year-old, let them run a game. They'll think that is the coolest thing. Don't let them do it in a drill sergeant kind of way. Let them know, hey, you're so motivating to the students. I want you to go out and run this game because they love you. All right, this is just kind of a cool way to pump this kid up. That kid will work for you one day, I guarantee. Let's see. Cool lesson of the day. Like I said, I've got the videos. If you go look under Mershad Summer Camp, you'll see those videos of the ones I did. Those were 2 years ago, and it was like 5-6 minutes long. Typically, they're like 4 minutes long now. Let's see. Take a big group shot with all of the supplies you collected. This is really big. Post it everywhere. Send it to your local newspaper. Put it on your city's Facebook page. Do whatever you can do. Yes, it's good to give with a pure heart. I totally believe that, okay? But these kids are superstars for providing things for people, and they should get some credit also, and people should see what you're doing. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, we do these awesome things, and more people coming to you means you can do more awesome things, right? I mean, that's the goal, okay? I want to spread what I'm doing around to as many people as possible. And so taking a big group picture and just flood the internet with it. Put it in every local business. Hey, check out what our guys did. You know, if you have any supplies that you want to donate and help us with this cause, we're still collecting for the next week. Get people involved. That's going to make you more than just a karate shop. Okay, so there's me. I'm going to answer some questions here. So someone said, we'll be able to review the video. I assume that's the video of the talk. And, yeah, you can just definitely go to YouTube and check it out. I am a little long-winded, and I did have no hair when I did that video. But you can check it out. It was our strength talk, talking about how you don't want to get shaken up. Then what do we charge for our summer camps? We do $199 for our summer camps. So $199 is the price we charge, and that includes the weapon. It includes the shirt. It includes snack. We typically do some kind of cool craft project, not like, knitting stuff, but, something cool for a craft project. Like I think one time we let them create their own martial arts patch or their own, or the stick figure doing a cool move or something, and, you have fun with it. And, the last day, if you have any crafts you haven't sent home, you can get rid of those at that point as well. So, yeah, we charge $199 for that. I believe our second child rate is $125. I know I should probably have that solidified, but so if you have 2 kids, we don't charge full price for both. There's nothing wrong with charging full price for both. We just don't. And so, yeah. And again, every market is a little bit different. And copy of letters. Yeah, I can definitely make those available. The letters that were on there, I assume you mean this one right here with the thing we're doing all day today, plus the feedback form. Okay, perfect. Yeah, in fact, let me get those to Champions Way, and I'll let them put that out, put both of those out for you guys. So if you're not already, if you don't already like the Facebook fan page, then check that out, and you can ping a message there, and I'll get these as a PDF copy to them today. And that way they can put that out to anybody who needs a copy of that. Very cool. Trying to see any other questions or any other things I could think about here. But again, you can contact me, friend me on Facebook. That way, if you have any questions on your campus you go, let me know. I'll be around. And yeah, any other questions, just let me know.
Looks like we are done with questions. I just wanted to use time to thank you very much, Master Michael, for this awesome presentation. I'm sure lots of people took a lot from it. I will post a recording on our YouTube channel, on Champions Way YouTube channel. If you can't find it, feel free to send us an email, marketing@championsway.com, and I can hook you up with the link, as well as if you have any other questions about the webinar, if you need to get in touch with Master Michael. Okay, thank you very much.
Perfect. Thanks.
Have a good day, everybody.